This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, educating the leaders of our community for over 20 years.
I'm so happy to have Gerri Ware here, who's the president, let's bump Gerri, of the Democratic Black Caucus of Lee County. Gerri, when I first heard that you were the president, you know, when you called me up and said, Lee, I'm president, I said, that's great. We're going to get some things done. Okay, now, first, before we get into the Holy Land experience, let everybody know you my godmom.
Yes, I am proudly. That's with pride.
That's right. Now, when Hodges was naming the building after me, the Hodges University Student Union Center, you were there. When I was looking out there at you, I knew my mom was way back in Birmingham, but I knew there was somebody there representing the black man. So you know how we got that extended family?
Yes.
And you were sitting out there just as proud.
Very much so. I wouldn't have gone a day without having been there.
Yeah, that's what you told me, so I wouldn't miss it for the world. What is the Democratic Black Caucus of Lee County? I know, but talk to me as though somebody else doesn't know.
Well, you are a member.
That's right.
And it says Democratic Black Caucus. It requires one thing only, that you be a Democrat. You don't have to be black, okay? So we want to make sure of that, because we have every ethnic group involved in Black Caucus, because it is there to help in our political ventures in our community.
I'm glad you said that. Hold on, let me get a chance to say this. And Lee Pitts Live is not the black show. I know we have people here from all different races, but this is the first time I ever said it on TV. This is not the black show. It's just a show for the community. Go ahead, Gerri.
Yes. And so as I was about to say, Lee is a member of the Black Caucus, and what you have to do, and I'll say this gladly, issues that relate to us in the community, you must be at the table, because if you're not at the table, you will be on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to be politically involved in what's going on. Like, for instance, right now, Black Caucus is involved with the overlay for the Dunbar community for the redevelopment of this area. We are involved in voting. We are involved in anything that involves making our community better. We're involved in bettering schools.
I know the other day I tried to reach out to you. You said, hey, Lee, I'm at a school board meeting.
That's correct. You
don't miss any of those meetings? You try not to?
I try very hard not to miss any city council meetings nor school board meetings.
When you go to those meetings, what are you trying to do? What's your goal?
My goal is to make things better here in my community. With those schools that I went to the school board about, they were with the failing schools. And James Stevens and Franklin Park is among those schools. So I'm very, very much concerned about our youth, because without knowledge, we will perish. So our children can only grow, and our community can only grow, if we enhance their learning abilities, and we have to get them out of failing schools.
Now, I haven't been in studio since the city council, what's her name? She stepped down. Christine stepped down, and LaVon Sims has been appointed.
Yes.
What ward is that? That ward?
That's Ward 3.
Ward 3. And then it's going to have to be an election to...
On March 31st, there will be an election for only Ward 3 now. If you live in Wards 1, 2, don't show up because you can't vote. Only those residing in Ward 3 will be allowed to select the person to run out that remaining term.
Now, are you disappointed in the turnout, the Democratic turnout at election time?
Very much so, Lee. That's why one of the events that we plan and fundraise for is to try to do everything in our power to get our people to get involved in being not only registered to vote, but to vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough just to get the card. You got to show up, like I said.
And a lot of people come out for like big events like the president or something like that, but they need to come out during the midterms and all of these local elections.
It's very important that they show up on March 31st to replace Christine Matthews. It's very important that you play a role in selecting that person who's going to represent you.
Now, at the time that we're taping this interview, do you have any idea who else may be? I know LaVon has already said.
I know LaVon is applying. I believe Mrs. Barnes is applying.
Mildred
Barnes. I believe Ladovic Kimball is also applying. So far, those are the only three that I've heard that are applying.
Sound like some powerful candidates.
Yes.
Now let's go to, you talked about fundraising, which is the main reason you're here, but I got to get other stuff out of you when you're here. The Holy Land experience in Orlando. I passed it on the freeway numerous times. I heard great things about it. You're actually having a trip there to the Holy Land as a fundraiser. And let's talk about the cost and the logistics of the trip, what, when, and where.
Now, the actual event will take place on March 7th. The cost is $85, but that includes your ticket to the event and the transportation.
Outstanding. That's
So you can't beat that. We will depart from Friendship Missionary Baptist Church at 6 o'clock in the morning. We will return approximately 7 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be approximately a 3-hour trip up there, but we will have stops because there are some of us who have to have a little break in there.
Stretch and do some other little
get these knees,
biological things.
got to get the kinks out the knees
Right.
so we can keep on going. And once we arrive there, I have not been there before, but I've heard so much talk. And when I say to people, come on, go with us to the Holy Land, they say, are you going to Israel? I said, no.
Mhm.
We're going to stop by way of Orlando.
Okay.
So we're going to make it a little brief. We won't go all the way to Israel. We'll only take you there through the attractions that you see. There are over 17 or about 20 attractions that they have there. And they also have about 10 points of interest. Let me share one of them with you, Lee. It's like, for instance, you may go and have the communion, where they really actually do the communion, you participate in the communion. You may go and see, like, for instance, the theater presentations where there are movie presentations about what occurred over 2,000 years ago. They also have what you call Jerusalem Street Market. They also have, like, the Face of Jesus statue. They have, I already mentioned the Holy Communion with Jesus, the Garden of Gethsemane, all of those things that are indicative of that period, a spiritual period.
Now, we have a phone number on the screen where people can call to get their ticket.
Yes.
And it's important they get in touch with you guys early because they need to get the deposit down, right?
That's correct. The deadline for that is February the 7th. And I do
That's
want...
that's for the deposit, and the trip is on March 7th.
That's
okay?
correct. The trip is March 7th, but the deadline for us to get our monies in...
Well, not deposit, you need the money. You need all the money.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All of it.
Okay, we're not
All of
taking no layaway and stuff,
No,
right?
we
All right.
don't. Sorry about that.
Okay. Again, you see the number on the screen. It's 239-334-6673. And that's the Holy Land Experience in Orlando. That's going to be a great event for a lot of people to go out and take advantage of. Thanks again for joining us here this week on Lee Pitts Live. And next week we have another fabulous show in store for you. So for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those who are doing it. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Lee, for helping us.
Bam.